So I'm going to tell a story from nothing. And I don't know what it is yet. Are you ready? Okay. So I'm just going to find out what's there and what wants to be told and see what shows up. And all I can see is this kind of rolling ball. It's going around and around, like a spiral before my eyes, but it's moving along in a horizontal line in front of me, rolling and rolling and rolling, and rolling and rolling. And then when it gets to this end, it kind of disappears and another one takes its place. And it's rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. It almost appears to be like the symbol, I think it's the symbol of the I Ching, is it? You'll correct me if I'm wrong, because you'll know. The two halves with the black and the white that look like the fetuses. Some people say it's the yin and the yang. So it looks almost like that, but it's not quite like that. It's a kind of, I can see it, maybe I can draw it, which I will do at some point. So it's rolling and it's rolling. And bouncing like a marble. And then moving back again. And now it's kind of hitting the one end, and yeah, that's what it's doing. It's going dong, dong, dong. So it rolls and it hits and it rolls back and it hits and it rolls back. But now it's stopped in the center of that line that it was traveling along. It's right there in the middle. And stepping out of it to the side is a dark grey dragon. A dark grey dragon with its claws. It's just stepping out and it's taking a look around. And it has these wings. And it's stretching its wings out, spreading them out, and then bringing them in again, and spreading them out again, and bringing them in again. And it opens its mouth to breathe fire. Oh, but there's no fire. Because the dragon is actually a pencil drawing. He can only stick his tongue out and waggle his tongue. And so he begins to walk. It is a he. I know it's a he. And he's taking a walk along a white page, strolling along, looking for something. He's left behind that big circle and spiral of movement. And he's now alone on a road. A road that he can see stretching before him. A white road made of paper. He walks along the paper road. He only knows it's a road because it has those lines in the center of the road as we know them. And he's just walking. For a long, long time, there's nothing. The odd rock, and then more of nothing. Oh, and there's a rabbit. A little rabbit. He's watching him approach, And then it just hops behind the rock, and the dragon stops for a moment to take a look, but no, Bunny's gone. He pauses and wonders, is the rabbit important? Should I have made a conversation with the rabbit? The rabbit was munching a red, orange carrot. But he decides to ignore it and continue on his journey. As he walks on, he still has the rabbit in the back of his mind, but he tries to let it go. And he continues. And he continues, and soon the rabbit is far away. As he's approaching something red in the distance, there is in fact a red sun appearing over the end of the road. It's a dark red sun, a blood red sun. And it's appearing over the end of the road. And when he sees it, he feels a sense of belonging, a sense of loving, and a sense of deep, deep knowing and yearning. And he knows he has to be close to that deep blood red sun and drink from it. He knows this is the juice of his life. Just as the carrot was the juice of the rabbit's life, he must get to the sun. And so he plods on along that road, and the sun spreads itself. It spreads itself bigger and wider, expanding over the road and lighting up the land around the road, which becomes an orange desert. The blood red sun adds colour to the road, and the road becomes a deep purple grey. And the dragon's getting more excited. It feels like he can get closer, and he's trying to open his mouth. He's trying to drink from it, but he's not yet close enough. He can't get to the point where the sun would just pour itself down his mouth. But he's so excited, he's running like this, like he really wants to get there, and the sun is up there, and the sun is kind of laughing. These big eyes open up on the sun, and this great big mouth begins to smile as it sees this dragon running towards it. And the sun is enjoying it so much. The sun is a she. She's looking down, and she's smiling at this beautiful dragon bounding towards her. And then at one point, she knows it's the time. The dragon is there, and she's able to send down a stream of her blood red fire liquid, and it pours right into the dragon's mouth, right into the dragon's throat. And when it enters, and that sun fills his throat and fills his body. The dragon's belly, it fills with golden, exuberant life. Every cell in the dragon's body is awakened, and he swallows up the sun. He swallows up the sun. His body fills with colours, every colour of the rainbow. And he spreads his wings out wide. And he soars up into the blood red, orange, golden sky, and he breathes his fire all across the land. I think that's the end of the story. But just to say, you might just see that dragon if you look out at the window one day when you're at home in your isolation, locked in.
I look out to the window right now. There's a lot of clouds. It's a grey sky, but I can see the sun behind it. I know it's there, but maybe it's not.
Well, you might just see a dragon flying by on these days when we're inside.
Thank you. It was wonderful. Thank you so much. It was lovely. I liked it. Well, have I ever mentioned for you my love for Ursula le Guin?
No.
I haven't told you about this wonderful author. I think I have, but you haven't listened well enough so you can remember. Well, it is 3 books. Trollman for your head with the Wizard of the Earthsea. And then it was to Coast is the last one, the Far Reach Shore. And in that there's a story how the dragons are nice in those stories. The dragons are the one that you talk to, and they have the knowledge of the old times. And to go to find, when he was a young man, he was very good in the wizard school. It's very much Harry Potter kind of in the beginning there. He is in a wizard school, and he's too good. So he opens up the door to death, to his own death. He sees his own death, and he closes it. But it's there the rest of his life. And when he's an old man, he needs to go and find this death, and all around him, it's like chaos has started. It's really bad, but he needs to find out the evilness in his own life, and to do so, there's only one that can help him. There's only one that can save him from dying, and that's a dragon, the old dragon with the old language that he speaks himself. And so he meets this dragon. It's a beautiful, beautiful picture of this dragon just coming down, and all the others. It's sort of scared, as far as I remembered. I don't really clearly. But many years ago, I read this book, but then when he just bows his head and starts speaking in the old tongue, and the dragon bows his head and speaking the old tongue as well, and then he sits on top of this dragon and flies away. So, I will bring you to the southern part of France, just by the Canal du Midi, that sort of cuts France in two down there by Toulouse. And just close to Toulouse, there was a little village. And in that village, there lived a doctor who moved to the town 3 years ago. And this doctor was a young, handsome man called Bernard. This night he was in circus, because every year in the summertime, the circus Ballotelli came to town. And that was a major thing. All that meant anything in the town was there. All the rich, the poor, everybody was there. Bernard was, for the first time, sitting among all the important people because of his engagement with the mayor's daughter. They had just had a ring on their finger and kissed each other, and whatever it was, they were now a couple, soon to be married. And they were sitting next to each other, holding their hands, kissing a little, talking about what they were seeing. What they saw this year was Ballotelli, Circus Ballotelli. And they were all expecting something special, because last year they all talked about that, was when this young, very short, very tight, very athletic, tight rope dancer was up there in the sky. with the light on her, with a blue dress. And that was so beautiful what she could do. She could actually dance up there. And she did the dance tarantella. You know what a tarantella is? Yeah, a big spider, a big, big spider. Tarantella. That was last year. This year there was some tightrope walkers, but they were not so good. It wasn't that fantastic. The big number was the magician. He was from Germany, and they didn't really like people from Germany. So he wasn't really, really good. This year was kind of a disappointment. Balotelli was doing his best. He was always funny. He was standing there with his big hat and saying, no, it's time for blah, 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 blah. But then he looked up, and there he saw the tightrope walker from last year. She was sitting there, and the rope was going like this. But she wasn't like she was last year. She was pregnant. She had this big, big belly. And now they started thinking last year, the circus was here in August, right? And now it's May. Is there something? And Bernard, the young doctor, engaged to the mayor's daughter, stood up and looked up there in the sky, and she was talking to him and told him how it was, how he comforted her, how happy she was, that he brought joy into her life, because it's sad to be a star, a circus star. And she was walking along the canal, and he came, and they had a very good time together. And she said, I was looking forward to show you this, but then I saw her and what you're doing, so I don't want to live her anymore. And then she just leaned forward with a scream from Bernard, don't do it! But then she just whirled into the air, whirled, and landed into the circus ring. When Bernard came there and saw that her neck was broken, he just said, let's carry her into the outside. And outside, she was lying there, and he held her hand, and she was dead, definitely. Her neck was just, but she was landing on her back. And when he looked at the stomach, the big, big stomach there, he could see that there was a foot or something. It was obvious that whatever was in there was alive. So he called out for the circus manager, please, is there a knife? Is there a knife? Antoniella, come here, Antoniella. And Antoniella brought his knife. It was a sharp knife, and he cut into the belly of the young woman and brought out this little boy. When the people in the circus heard that outside it was a little boy being born, they were happy and clapped at Bernard. But the mayor and the daughter of the mayor was gone. They have left. It was a big scandal for them that he had brought shame on their name. There was somebody there with milk in the breast, and they gave them milk, and eventually Bernard had to take care of his little boy. It was a little beautiful boy that he called Philippe. And he grew and he grew and he grew, and he became a very fine young man at 15 years old. But Bernard couldn't work anywhere because the mayor had stopped anything. This doctor had to sell everything and had to just walk around in France trying to get some work. And as they were walking around, the boy was now 15. They came to a circus, and it was in a circle there, all the wagons there, and it looks shabby. It was a little run down, but that was Circus Balotelli. When Bernard saw that, he said to the boy, let's go. No, said the boy, I'd like to see what it is. I like circus. Why are you so, no, let me see it. And then Antoniella, you remember the guy with the knife? Yeah? he came and he saw them and he said, come inside, come inside. But Bernard said, no, 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 let's go, let's go. But he dragged the boy into the circus, showed him around, and Bernard just walked slowly after him. But then an old man came out, and that was Balotelli. He was now an old man. And he sat just by the wagon and talked to Bernard about what was going on ever since he saw him. I didn't think I should see you again. That night when, is this a boy? Yes, that's a boy. Does he know? No, I never told him. But Antoniella walked around, and then when they came back again, it was the young boy said to his father, I'm going to work in this circus, father. He engaged me. I'm going to make a lot of money. But Bernard said, no, it's not going to happen. I don't want that. I want you to come with me, boy. And Daniela is not a good one to know. No, let's go. Let's continue our walk. No, I'm going to work here, father. I don't want to. No. All right then, said Bernard. Then I would like to say goodbye to you. Can I do that alone? And then Antoniella said, but Lulu, you never said goodbye to her. What do you mean, Lulu? Said the little boy. What do you mean, Lulu? Who's that? That's your mother, said Antoniella. Don't you know? Haven't your father told you? No, said Bernard. Never told him that. You shouldn't tell him. What is going on? Said the boy. And Antoniella said, let's go and talk. And they went in a little place there, and Antoniella told him everything about what had happened that night. That his father had made Lulu pregnant, and therefore she killed herself. It's like a tarantella, he said. It's like a tarantella. You know, when a tarantella dance and walk, and suddenly there's a wasp coming, and it places the egg inside the tarantella, and then the tarantella dies. That's your father. He deserved to die, you know. And then suddenly, the little boy, 15 years old, all right, young man then, found himself with a knife in his hand. And he was pushed into the middle of the camp there, and he was standing there with a knife, didn't know what to do with it. So Balotelli came and said, what do you do with that knife, boy? I don't know. He told me a story about a tarantella, and I don't know what to do with the knife. I don't know what. I think he wants you to kill your father. What? With this knife? I don't never want to do that. And then suddenly, Antoniella came, took the knife out of the hands of the boy and said, then I'm going to do it myself. And then he started running. And he ran and he ran and he ran. The young boy, Felipe, and Balotelli ran after. And they came towards Bernard. He was walking down there was a little road there. And as he turned around, he could hear Antoniella coming there with a knife. You deserve to die. You're a wasp, and you killed the tarantella. But Bernard was fast. And the knife went far away, and he knocked him down, and he sat on him. What's going on with this? What are you doing here? And then Balotelli came and said, now you have to leave. Antoniella, go away from my circus. I don't want you here anymore. And Philippe said to his father, what was that all about? And then Bernard said, I think there's something I need to tell you. Balotelli waved and said, you can always come back and have a job, boy. You can always come back. And now something had changed between Bernard and Philippe. After that, they talked a lot. And he was always willing to talk about Philippe's mother, Lulu. Bernard died only a year after this. And then as he was standing on the grave, Philippe, he was thinking, what am I going to do now? Balotelli. So he found a circus, went up to him, and he said, yes, of course, there's a job for you. And that is the beginning of the new circus. I don't know if you know that, but that is actually the beginning of the new circus. Philippe became very famous as he was doing something totally new with the circus, but that is a total other story.
That was lovely.
You never heard that one before?
Never heard that one before. Thank you for telling me a story I didn't know.
Yeah, it would have been kind of strange to listen to something. Sven, I heard that 248,000 times, so please let me
It's really
just
nice. Where does that story come from?
Well, my book. I think it's Horust. I don't know.
Is that story that you wrote? Did you write that story?
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah, but it's like all the rest of the things I've done. It's never. I mean, in the book, it's not finished. It's not like when you work. You work through the things, right? The whole thing about her having this tarantella dance the year before was something I realized today when I started working on the story, because she can't do a tarantella dance when she's pregnant like that, but she can do it the last year before and then come back and then being pregnant. But in the book, it's the same evening. What?
Why can't you dance like that when you're pregnant?
No, not on a rope. I don't think you can do that, because it was really, really beautiful. The tarantella is a very beautiful, powerful dance, and then on the rope, it's really beautiful. You will have something for me.
Well, I have something to show you in a minute.
Wow,
because,
lovely.
well, I was just drawing as you were speaking, and this is a work in progress because I'm still. Actually, it's a combination of some of the things from my story and some of the things from your story. I was really struck by her, actually.
By Lulu.
I really just felt awful for her, like the clap because the baby is born, but nobody said, "What about her?"
No.
Is she all right?
No, she was just cut open.
Everyone's sad. It's like they're all interested in the baby, but she's lying there dead.
Yeah.
Her life is completely over.
And she's dead because of love.
Yeah.
Bernard.
So there is a tarantula. Can you see?
It's beautiful.
Wow. There's also a dragon from
There's a hat, right?
There's a hat.
Hat.
And she's. Can you see her?
Lying there on the ground, yes. And the eyes of the woman is straight towards the red flames and everything. It's like, it's okay, I can go into that now. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, Alice. It's very, very nice. Thank you. Thank you. So that was a DuEt.
That was a DuEt. Well, that was fun. I really enjoyed that.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. It was nice sharing with you from the kitchen to the bedroom.
I see you in a very short while. Thank you so much for joining us.
We're about to do a reveal now where I come into your room.
Oh, yeah, cool. See ya.
Can I say hi?
Oh.